If you're looking for a book, come to the reading Nook. If you're needing love, get your reading up. You look bleeding tough, but don't read enough. Feeling rough, feeling stuck. Sit in the Nook, grab a book, it's time to read some stuff. So come on everybody, let's take a look. Come and read a book in the reading Nook. Reading Nook, reading Nook. Come and read a book in the reading Nook with Kev.
If music be the food of love, play on. Hello, welcome to the Reading Nook. I'm Kev, this is Twelfth Night. I've got ale, I've got cakes, I'm ready to go. I'm going to talk you through what happens in each of the acts. There's 5 acts of Twelfth Night. After each act, I get to eat a cake. We'll just crack straight on, because why not? So, what is Twelfth Night? It's a Shakespeare comedy. Shakespeare wrote 3 different types of plays: tragedies, histories, and comedies. The tragedies, everyone died. The histories, a lot of people died, but they were based on like real events. And for the comedies, everyone gets married. But who's going to get married? We'll find out. So let's go. Scene 1. Act 1, scene 1 is where we meet the Duke. Now, he's the guy that said, if music be the food of love, play on, at the start of this play. He's listening to some music, and then he's like, let's get the line. If music be the food of love, play on. Give me excess of it, that surfeiting the appetite may sicken and so die. What he means there is he is sick of being in love, and he wants music to take away that sickness. It's like when you eat a load of food and then you lose your appetite. He wants the music to lose this feeling of melancholy for being in love. So that's the Duke. He is also called the Count sometimes. He's Count Orsino. I don't know what these titles mean, but essentially he's a guy that's like in charge of a big part of the area of the world that we're in. So the Duke is in love with this other character called Olivia, who we'll meet later, who is like a countess from another town. So this scene is just really short, and it's basically the Count going, oh, I love Olivia, but she's sad that her brother died. Oh, that's sad. And then we cut. Scene 2. This is where we meet Viola, who has been recently shipwrecked. Now, her deal is she was travelling with her brother Sebastian. She doesn't know where the hell she is. She's asking the sea captain, where am I? He's like, you're in Illyria. And she's like, what will I do in Illyria? But she doesn't know where Illyria is. Apparently it's here, like Albania, on the other side of Italy. And the sea captain explains to her, she's like, oh, there's this Count here, Count Orsino, Duke Orsino, whatever. He does, he owns this part of the land. Then you got the Countess Olivia. Her dad died, gave her the land. Now her brother's died and she's sad. She's in mourning for that. And Viola is like, okay, here's the plan. I'll give you some money to help me out. You bind me up, dress me as a man, do it well. I'll go to the Count's, get a job. Basically, like, she can't be out on her own as a woman. So she's like, I'll dress as this guy. She calls that guy Cesario. She's off to the Duke to get a job with the Duke. That's the plan with her. That's scene 2. We're flying through this. We'll get through this in no time. Scene 3. We are now at Olivia's house, and we meet this character called Sir Toby. Now, Sir Toby is a knight, a fat knight. If you've ever heard of Falstaff, probably would be played by the same guy. But he's like a comedy character. He's a drunk. He's a dickhead. And he, like, why he's at Olivia's house is he's just there to sponge off her. She's in mourning, so he's just hanging around, drinking the wine from her cellar, eating her food, generally acting entitled. And he is talking to Maria. Maria is Olivia's second in command kind of thing. She's like the housemaid, but she's also like, she does a load of stuff for Olivia. And she hangs around the house and does domestic chores. So Toby is talking to Maria about this guy, Andrew Aguecheek, Sir Andrew Aguecheek, who is his friend. And his plan is to get Andrew to woo Olivia. And he's like, Andrew's in his pocket already. This guy's a bit of a fool. I mean, Toby's a fool as well. They're all fool characters, but they're not dressed as jesters. We'll get to that guy. So he's bigging up Andrew to Maria when we first meet them. And he's like, this guy, he's got loads of money. He's got all these ducats. He knows loads of languages. He's got land. And in comes Andrew Aguecheek. And he's like, Sir Andrew, accost to Maria. And he's like, oh, good Mistress accost, thinking it's her name. And he's like, no, accost means to woo, to assail her, to, get in there. And he's like, it's not the meaning of accost. So we already know this guy's a f***ing idiot. This is Andrew Aguecheek, moron. So we basically meet those two. You learn that there's a bit of a romance thing going on between Maria and Toby. And then Toby and Andrew decide to cut about some revels, and Andrew makes it known that he can cut a caper, does a dance, and they go off to get drunk. Scene 4. This is now at the Duke's house. Viola, who is now Cesario, has wormed her way in, and it's like 2 or 3 days later, and the Duke is like, I love this guy, he's great. Oh man, what a great guy. Really cool to hang out with my new best friend Cesario, who is also my servant. But what a great servant, love him. So the Duke, who loves Olivia, we've had that established twice, says to Cesario, right, as we're such great mates, here's the plan. You go over to Olivia's and you be like, that Duke, I work for him and he's a great guy and you should probably marry him. Why don't you come round and see him sometime? That's the plan. We also learn that Viola is already in love with the Duke. I say already, that was going to happen. But it's happened straight away. Like before we even come back to see them again, she's already like, I kind of like this guy. So she's hesitant on the plan. She goes along with it because what else can she do? That's her job. So a lot of this play is going to be the Duke sending Cesario, Viola, off to Olivia's house to woo her and it not working out, and Cesario coming back and going, it's not worked out. Scene 5 is back at Olivia's. We meet Fester, the jester, who is just called Clown in the script, in the play, but he is a paid fool. So his job is, he works for Olivia, but he also does jobs around because you see him at the Duke's later on. And his job is to come up with witty things and he gets paid to say them. He also does songs. He also does... that's what Viola wanted to do in the first place. In the first scene, she's like, I'm going to go over to the Duke's and do some songs and stuff, pretend to be a eunuch. That was her plan in the first place. I missed all that out. But that makes sense, doesn't it? She's a eunuch, that's why her voice is so high. The Duke buys it hook, line and sinker. He's a eunuch, Cesario. You get it. Fester is doing some wit. That's his thing. Olivia, who is in mourning with a veil over her head, is like, enough of this, take away the fool. And Fester's like, yes, take away the fool, meaning Olivia. And she's like, what do you mean, take me away? Oh, you're the fool. And he's like, no, I believe you're the fool. And she's like, well, make that good. What's that mean? And he says, well, I guess your brother's soul is in hell. And she's like, I know it's in heaven, you little... And he's like, ah, but if it's in heaven, why are you so sad? And therefore, take away the fool. And we go, oh, Fester's brilliant. He's got a way with words. What a wordsmith this chap is. That's Fester. Then Malvolio. He is the butler. And he is like this prim and proper guy. In one version of the play, he's played by Stephen Fry. And just imagine that. Because he's like this well-spoken conservative guy. He's got ideas above his station, which we'll learn about later. But he is the butler. He has no time for dicking about. He hates the other characters, but we'll get to this. So Toby and Andrew and Fester. He's all about being... pious. That's the word for Malvolio. So Malvolio is like, there's someone at the door to see you, this young man. Oh, Olivia goes, okay, well, put the veil back over my head, let him in. Cesario, which is Viola. I'm going to just call him Cesario from now on because it's easier. In comes Cesario, and he's like, she's like, should we pick a gender for Cesario? Here's a woman. Let's say she. So she comes in and she's like, oh, I'm here to speak to Olivia. And Olivia's like, over here. She's like, well, I was told to make contact with Olivia's face. So, and then she takes the veil up and Cesario is like, I've got a message from the Duke. He fancies you. Message delivered. And I think Cesario is expecting it to go better than it does. But like, Olivia has also had this message delivered several times, knows full well what's going on. And he's like, yeah, great, whatever, bye. But Olivia likes the look of Cesario, and as Cesario's leaving, she gives Malvolio a ring. She's like, right, take this, give this to Cesario, and say that he dropped it and that like you're giving it back. And if he wants to come again, if the Duke wants to send another message, then Cesario can deliver it. And Malvolio's like, I didn't see him drop a ring. He's like, yeah, he did. He did. That's it. That sets everything up for a screwball comedy caper full of japes. Here we go. I'm going to eat a cake now. First act. All of that stuff. That's just really setting everything up. That's just so we know who everyone is. So let's recap. We got the Duke. We got Cesario. And so far, Cesario, who's Viola, is in love with the Duke. We know the Duke is in love with Olivia. And now that Cesario has gone over to see Olivia, we now have found out that Olivia quite likes Cesario. Love triangle, but kind of quadrangle, because Cesario and Viola are the same person. Quadrangle? Rectangle. Square! That's the word. Then you've got Maria, the housemaid, Malvolio, and Festa, the three servants that we've met so far that work for Olivia. And we've also got Sir Toby and Sir Andrew, who are drunken twats. Sir Toby is Olivia's cousin, and Sir Andrew is Sir Toby's friend, who is ostensibly there to woo Olivia. Olivia is like, she is sad that her brother died and her dad died, obviously, but she's also like playing up to that sadness a bit because it sort of helps her out. Because like, if she was just single and ready to move on with her life, the Duke would be like giving her advances, and she wouldn't have that excuse of like, oh, I'm too sad to see you today. It works out in her favour. So she's milking it a bit. It's been a year since her brother died. Obviously still sad, but it helps her out by being a convenient excuse to tell the Duke to go fuck himself. So bear that in mind. So Act 2, Scene 1. We meet Sebastian, who is Viola's brother, twin brother, still alive. And you'll notice when Sebastian comes on stage, he's dressed exactly the same as Cesario. And you're like, oh, I've seen The Comedy of Errors, or maybe you haven't. But you're like, can see where this is going. There's going to be a case of mistaken identity later on. Going to be some classic japes in the fourth act. And there sure are. Anyway, Antonio's with him. Now, Antonio's a sea captain. In some productions I've seen, he's played by the same guy that plays the sea captain in scene 1 of Act 1. And that's confusing as hell, because he is a different guy. He's a guy that saved Sebastian from drowning and now loves Sebastian. But is it just like, I love you as a friend? Or is it that he actually loves him? We don't know, but he loves him. Hang on. The gist of this scene is Sebastian's alive and letting the audience in on it. Scene 2. Malvolio has got that ring, has gone off to Cesario and gone, here's that ring that you dropped. And Cesario's like, I didn't drop a ring, what the hell are you on about? And Malvolio's like, well, if you don't want it, chucks the ring at her. And he's like, there it lies. Bye. Off he fucks. Cesario picks that ring up and he's like, oh shit, I reckon Olivia's into me. That's what she's up to. This isn't going to play out well. Now we got trouble. So she's like, how will this fadge? Which I guess is like, how will this play out? My master loves her dearly, and I, poor monster, fond as much as him. We're repeating the love triangle. And she, mistaken, seems to dote on me. What will become of this? What will become of this? We'll find out in a bit. Scene 3. This is the cakes and ale scene. It's midnight, or just after. And Sir Toby and Sir Andrew are bollocks. And Sir Toby is like, oh man, to be up past midnight is to be up betimes. These fucking flies. Ah, you fuck. Did I get it? Yes. Got it. Anyway, Sir Toby is like, to be up past midnight is to be up betimes. Meaning, like, we're up so late, it's basically early. And Sir Andrew's like, no, I think to be up late is to be up late. Classic comedy. In comes Festa. And Festa is like, how now, sweethearts? Did you never see the picture of we three? And that is a reference to this old painting, this one. You see, you got these two jesters looking at you, and underneath it says we three. it's sort of a joke in painting form. You're the third fool looking at these two fools. And Fester's kind of like, he knows they won't get that reference, so he's sort of taking the piss out of them a bit. And they're like, oh, this is excellent, Faith. Give us a song, Fester. So Fester is like, do you want a love song or a song of good life? And Sir Andrew says, let's have a love song, I care not for good life. That is a good joke, because he's a great eater of beef and he drinks a load of booze. He clearly doesn't have a good life. Anyway, after that, they're like, right, let's do a catch. Let's do, what they want to sing is Hold Thy Peace, Thou Knave. They're like, Fester, you up for that? Hold Thy Peace, Thou Knave? He's like, well, I'm going to have to call you a knave several times if we do that. He's like, it wouldn't be the first time. Let's go. Hold thy peace, thou knave. 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 Classic fun. What then happens is Maria, the housemaid, we met her earlier, comes in and is like, what are you up to? You're making a racket. You're going to wake up Malvolio and he won't be happy. Then Sir Toby starts singing to Maria. And it's basically, you know in Shaun of the Dead when they're like all drinking and they've just come back from the pub and they're playing White Lines and then Peter Seraphinovich's character comes down and is like, what's going on? Why are you playing all this hip-hop? And they're like, it's not hip-hop, it's electro. It's that, but olden times. Peter Seraphinovich's character coming down to tell him off is Malvolio. And he comes down, he's like, what the hell, it's so late. And this is where Sir Toby gets all in his face and says, dost thou think, because thou is virtuous, that there shall be no more cakes and ale? And Fester is like, yes, and ginger will still be hot in the mouth. And they've absolutely done him. And Malvolio's like, I'm absolutely done here. But the point they're making is, just because Malvolio is like all prim and proper doesn't mean like fun's not going on. There's still people partying. There's still people, living it up. Malvolio is just like, right, you shut up. All four of you shut the hell up, or I'm telling Olivia about you and you'll be out in your ear. You'll all be fired. Or you guys who don't work here, you will just be kicked out and it'll serve you right. And off he goes. And Maria's like, I hate that guy. They're all like, yeah, what a twat. This guy. What can we do about him? And Maria's like, I've got a plan. Come on, get the guys around. Come on. I write a lot of letters for Olivia, because she can't always be asked to write to a lord or whatever. So I've practiced her handwriting. What if I write a letter pretending it's from Olivia to Malvolio, about Malvolio, saying that she's in love with him and saying that she likes the way he smiles, because that'll piss her off, because she's already, she's supposed to be, she is grieving. So if he's smiling all the time, she'd be like, oh my God, look at this guy smiling all the time. That's not the vibe. And also, she hates his yellow stockings. I'll tell him to wear those. So, I love the way he looks in those yellow stockings, cross-gartered, like the cakes. Brilliant, says Sir Toby. Oh, this is an excellent plan. Oh, mate. Oh, love this woman. There's a bit where it looks like Sir Toby and Maria are going to kiss. They don't. She goes off to bed. Fester's gone, I think. I don't know. What is it? Doesn't matter. And Sir Toby's like, she's a great woman. And she, one that adores me. Sir Andrew is like, I was adored too once. That's a great line. Gets a laugh, because what a pathetic little man Andrew Eggcheek is. And that's that. That's a big scene, because it sets up the whole subplot of this play, which is Malvolio getting bullied by these pricks. Scene 4, we're back at the Duke's, and Cesario is trying to talk the Duke out of pursuing Olivia anymore. And Fester's there. They're like, oh, go and get that guy who did that song last night. Fester turns up at the Duke's, sings a song for them, and it's like a melancholy love song. That you often see this played with like the Duke and Viola, Cesario, falling in love a bit. Maybe something would happen if she wasn't a man. That's kind of the point of this scene. It's like really one of the only scenes we get of the Duke and Cesario together, apart from early doors. At one point, the Duke's like, well, you don't love anyone. He's like, oh, there is someone I love, and describes the Duke, but acts like it's a woman. And that's what this scene is. It's just reinforcing that Cesario loves the Duke. Viola loves the Duke. The Duke doesn't love Viola, though. He still loves Olivia. And he's like, no, off you go, back over there, tell her. But this time, we're feeling. You obviously f***ed up last time. Right, scene 5. Scene 5's back with Malvolio, back at Olivia's, and he's about to find the letter. But before he does, we meet a new character, the last of our new characters, and this guy's called Fabian. Now, Fabian is another servant, and when we meet him, Sir Toby and Andrew, not Fester because he's at the Duke's, are like, oh, there's this whole plan going on with Malvolio. You're going to love it. Fabian, come on board. And Fabian's like, great, I hate Malvolio because when I tried bear baiting, he told Olivia and shut it down. Bear baiting is when you take a bear and chain him up and get dogs to attack him. So Fabian's a dick. But he's kind of like a younger guy and a bit more rough around the edges. He's a bit more of a Jack the Lad. And so he's like, well, if I can't do bear baiting, then baiting Malvolio will be the game. That'll be the sport. Often, directors will cut Fabian or give all of his lines to Fester. And I think that's a mistake because what Fabian does is he gives the play this sense of escalation. It was Maria, Fester, Toby and Andrew who are in on the plan. So now it's like, shit is escalating. We got Fabian on board now. And he's a bit more of a dangerous character. And Fabian, Toby, and Andrew go and hide in a bush. Because they're like, shit, Malvolio's coming, get in the bush. And in comes Malvolio. Now, the thing about Malvolio at this point that we learn is he already likes Olivia. And he's like talking up like, oh, if I was married to Olivia, no, shouldn't say it, but if I was, I would tell Sir Toby to go fuck himself. I'd get that Andrew, he'd be out on his ear. Fester would be fired. Maria probably fired. I don't know, he's just slacking everyone off. So they're watching him going, oh, this fuck prick, he deserves everything he gets. Then he finds the letter. Of course he does. Oh, what's this in my mistress's handwriting, is it? Yes, here be her very C's, her U's and her T's. And Sir Andrew in the tree is like, her C's, her U's and T's? What's that? He takes it out and he's like, oh, yes, well, there's this letter from, well, is it hers? And he reads it and he's like, says, basically it describes a love that she can't have. And it describes this character, and it's clearly Malvolio, obviously it is. And he reads that, and there's a bit in it where it says, it's something like she wants to make her name his, but she puts the letters M, O, A, and I. And he's like, what? M, that begins my name, and O, but surely A should follow. These letters are all in my name. And I think the idea is, it's a bit of a puzzle that Maria set him, that like, if you took the letters of Olivia, what letters would you need to add to make Malvolio? Which ones don't they share? Is there one you need to take away? That's the gist of it. He never really solves it, but he just pieces together. And I think that's part of the brilliance of the letter, in a way. He has to figure it out himself. And also, she doesn't sign off as love and kisses Olivia, I love Malvolio. She signs it off, the fortunate unhappy. And the postscript is, thou canst not choose but know who I am. If thou entertainst my love, let it appear in thy smiling. Thy smiles become thee well, therefore in my presence still smile, my dear. Oh, my sweet, I prithee. And she's also said, wear your yellow stockings. She loves that vibe. She also says, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. It's a famous line. That's where it comes from. It comes from Twelfth Night. We've done it. Act 2's done. I'm going to eat a cake. So, the setup is there for Malvolio. He's fallen right into that trap. Next thing you know, he'll be wearing yellow stockings. He'll be smiling like an idiot. Hook, line and sinker for Malvolio. For the other characters, it's just reinforcement. It's just the Duke still loves Olivia. Cesario still loves the Duke. Olivia still loves Cesario. And of course, Sebastian exists. I'm sponsored by Doombars and Mr. Kipling. Right, Act 3. So, this is where it all kicks off. Scene 1 is Cesario has come back to talk to Olivia again. This time, on the way in, he meets Fester, and Fester is like, oh, okay, just some japes about, I think this is possibly the bit like, where do you live? I live by the church. Oh, you're a man of God. No, I live by the church. Classic fun. Then Sir Toby and Sir Andrew come out and see Cesario, and they're like, who are you? What are you doing at Olivia's house? and a bit of jibber jabber. Olivia and Maria come out, and she's like, Cesario, oh, leave us be. And they all see it, and they're all like, oh yeah, leave us be, is it? They do leave her be. So Cesario is left alone with Olivia, and Olivia is like, just basically like, what do you think of me after that whole ring business? I do this voice for Olivia. Oh, hello. Cesario's like, I kind of pity you. That was weird. Oh, do you? Oh, that's a shame. Cesario is like, well, I wish I could explain why I can't marry you, but I can't. Maybe I'll have another. Maybe someone else. I can't remember, but it just gives excuses why Cesario can't be with Olivia. And Olivia's like, oh, I think you could. But that's that. Scene 2 then. Andrew, who's just seen all that with Olivia being like, oh, leave me alone with Cesario. He's like, this, I'm off. He's packed his bags and he's like, right, no, sod it. No, there's no point. What? No, let me go. No. The whole point of me being here is I'm supposed to be wooing Olivia, and it's clear it's not going to happen. So I think I'm going to piss off. Balls to it. And so Toby's like, no, you got to hang around. You got to hang around. And Fabian steps in at this point. He's like, yeah. What you're missing? Oh, another fly. I don't think I got that one. Fabian's like, no, you're missing the point. You're missing the point, mate. What you're missing is she's using Cesario to try and make you prove your manhood. So what you need to do, this is classic women, by the way, let me tell you, you need to challenge Cesario to a duel, sword fight. That'll work out. Then she'll love you. That's it. Go and write a letter to Cesario. So Toby's like, yeah. Go. This is a great plan. Go and write a letter to Cesario. Tell him that you hate him. Tell him why. And we'll fix you up with a duel. This is a classic plan. Well done, Fabian. Classic plan. So after Andrew goes to write that letter, now you'll see that Fabian is a dickhead. And they're really starting to bully Sir Andrew now, as well as bully Malvolio. Hence, cutting Fabian, probably a mistake. I wouldn't do it if I was a director. A lot of directors do. In comes Maria. She's like, come on, guys, come on. To Fabian and Toby, you got to see this. Malvolio's wearing the yellow stockings. He's smiling like an idiot. Oh, you're going to love it. That's that. Scene 3 is Sebastian and Antonio. Antonio's like, I can't go into town. I destroyed some of the Duke's ships, and he hates me. If I go into that town, I'll get arrested on sight. What I'm going to do is go to the Elephant. You take my purse, spend as much as you like, have a good time, have a meal, meet me back at the Elephant. It'll all work out. Sebastian is like, deal. Sounds like a nice day out for me. I'll meet you back at the hotel. That's it. Scene 4. That's 8. Scene 4 is the yellow stocking scene. This is the build-up. We've all been waiting for this. So first off, Olivia's there waiting for Cesario again. Feels like all this play is Cesario coming to Olivia saying the Duke likes you, and Olivia going, oh, but I like you. But anyway. So Olivia's waiting for Cesario. In comes Malvolio, and he's wearing the yellow stockings. He's smiling like an idiot, and she's like, Malvolio, are you okay? In some versions of the play, Malvolio is just wearing yellow socks, and they're cross-gartered, and it's quite a subtle effect. That is... Didn't get it. And that is how I prefer it done. I think that makes sense, because the whole point of this is Malvolio is wearing clothes that he already wears, or he already owns, and Olivia hates them. It's like if you were like, oh, wear that anorak that you like so much if you were pranking someone in modern times. But in some productions, you'll see Malvolio dressed as basically a bee, or in a weird tutu, or just like, it's so over the top, and it kind of robs the scene of honesty, because it's not Malvolio going like hire a theatre costume department to dress you up like a bellend. It's Malvolio, I think he looks genuinely good in this outfit. And so if he's dressed like an absolute tosspot at this point, it kind of robs the idea that he's on board with the letter, like he's actually fallen for it. It just seems like he's gone insane. But Maria thinks he has gone insane. And she's like, Malvolio, are you okay? Do you need to go to bed? And he's like, aha, go to bed. Well, maybe I do. Maybe we should. And she's like, no, God, Jesus. And he's like, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. And she's like, this guy, what the hell? She gets to Toby and Maria, and she's like, you guys take care of him. I'm off to see Cesario. He's apparently arrived. I'm not. This madness is too much for me. They approach Malvolio and like, you are mad, Malvolio. We're going to have to lock you up and get you an exorcist. The demons have got into you, and they take him away and lock him up. Because they take advantage of the situation. They're like, well, here's free reign. We're going to take Malvolio away, lock him up, and get an exorcist to deal with him. In comes Sir Andrew with his letter. And he's like, I wrote it all out. Here it is. There you go. So Toby takes it, and they like, him and Fabian go through it, and they're like, oh, it's brilliant. It's one of the best letters I've ever read. Oh, he's going to be quaking his boots. You absolutely nailed that. Good on you, Sir Andrew. Absolute classic letter. Immediately tear it up as soon as he's out of sight, and he's got, f*** that. I'll freestyle it, says Sir Toby. But the gist will be the same. He goes over to Cesario, who's just arrived to see Olivia, and he's like, right, before you go and see Olivia, no, that's why you're here. There's this guy, Sir Andrew. You remember him from before? Yeah, the old knight. Yeah. And he may not look much, but he's killed 3 guys and he's going to kill again. And you're his next victim. He wants to kill you, Cesario, and he's on the prowl. He's looking for you. So if I were you, I'd get ready with that sword of yours. And Cesario is like, shit, I don't know how to fight my woman. I haven't been trained. Shit. So they then have a face-off, a duel. Sir Andrew, who's a coward, and Cesario, who's a woman, it's just like, it's a hilarious moment. Of course it is. But in rushes Antonio, who was supposed to be at the elephant, but for some reason he's decided to go for a walk. And he's like, you bastards! And he thinks that Cesario is Sebastian and that this guy is about to kill him. He attacks Andrew and is immediately arrested because you don't attack a knight. And also all that shit with him destroying some ships of the Dukes. So he's like, oh, this guy knows who I am. Cesario's like, I don't know who you are. What are you talking about? And he's like, argh, gets dragged off in chains. And then Cesario is like, oh, shit, you think Sebastian might still be alive? Obviously he is. I think it's supposed to be like months have passed. So Viola's pretty convinced that Sebastian's dead by this point. But it don't feel that long. It feels like a few weeks. That is Act 3. That's another cake. Well, we learnt the bullying of Malvolio's gone pretty well. Antonio's in chains. The world's gone crazy. Antonio's in chains. And Malvolio's in chains because he's gone to be locked up in a little shed because the demons have got in him, according to Toby and Maria. And Andrew Eggcheek has been convinced that Cesario is his enemy and to challenge him to a duel. But now Andrew's got it in his head that Cesario is a coward as well. And he's going to play on that a bit more. The next time he sees Cesario, he's like, I think I could take him, actually. So that's where we're at. It's Act 4. Scene 1. Olivia, she sends Fester off to get Cesario. And instead, he finds Sebastian. But he thinks, oh, here's Cesario, the guy that I've met hundreds of times by this point. How are you doing? And Sebastian's like, never met you before in my life. Who the hell are you? And he's like, oh, weird way to greet a friend, but okay. And then in comes Sir Toby and Sir Andrew again. And they're like, this brick again. Let's give it... Bam! Sir Andrew just like gives Sebastian. He gives Sebastian a slap. Bam! Thinking it's Cesario. He's like, what's up now, dickhead? And then Sebastian's like, poof, you! He fights back. And he's like, come on then. And they're like, oh, the devil's got in him. The way William Shakespeare has put it is Sir Andrew strikes wide. Now, sir, have I met you again? There's for you. And Sebastian replies with his fists. Why, there's for thee! And there! And there! He knocks him down. Are all the people mad? And holds his dagger at him. So Toby and Sir Andrew, they get out of the situation and they piss off. And then Olivia shows up. And she's like, oh! She doesn't call him Cesario. She's like, good sir, will you come to my house? And Sebastian's like, everyone in this town is mad. That guy thinks he knows me. These guys want to fight me. This one wants to f*** me. Well, guess what? I'm on board. Let's go. And she's like, oh gosh, I wasn't expecting that. But she's like, oh, fair play. Come along. He's like, am I dreaming? And off he goes with Olivia. Next, scene 2. is Sir Topaz. This scene is, remember Malvolio's locked up and they said, we're going to get an exorcist to come and get the demons out of you. This is Sir Toby and Maria get Fester and they're like, right, Malvolio's locked in a box. It's all gone swimmingly while you were away. So what we want you to do now is dress up as a priest and give him a little exorcism, make him think he's mad, piss about a bit. And Fester's like, brilliant, I'll wear a fake beard, I'll dress like this, I'll be Sir Topaz. Hello, I'm Sir Topaz. And Malvolio can't see him, so I don't know why he dressed up anyway. And he basically, with his words, because we know Fester's a wordsmith, and he's got a good control of the English language, he's seen this as a bit of a challenge, and he's like, right, how far can I push this? How far can words go? Is it the case that me, a jester, a lowly jester, can drive a man mad with words alone? And he gives it a damn good go, and then like he really gets close. And Malvolio is driven to the point of madness, and he's really like worried for his sanity. And it's like, while you're watching this, really the vibe should be, this is a bit much. This is going over the line. And then Sir Topaz, hello, I'm Sir Topaz, starts having conversations with Fester. And Malvolio's like, oh, Fester, oh, can you help me? Go fetch pen and paper and I'll write a letter. And Fester's like, oh, do you think that's okay, Sir Topaz? Yes, I believe it could be. Yes, you could. Okay, I'll go and get a pen and paper. You can write a letter. I'll clear my name, Sir Fester. Oh, good jester. Oh. So Malvolio is contrite, a bit mad, locked in a cage. He's out of time. Fester's going to get him some pen and paper. Now, Sebastian, is he married at this point? Act 4, Scene 3, please. Here's where we're at. Sebastian is like, well, mad day, but where's Antonio? I haven't seen him for ages. Like, I'm supposed to meet me the elephant. I had a weird day, and I'm not mad at it. And then Olivia turns up with a priest, and she's like, right, forgive my haste, but because you seem to be on board, I'm taking every opportunity. Let's get married. And he's like, sure, why not? Let's get married. That is the end of Act 4. Act 4 I flew through. Now we're eating another cake. Boom. But yeah, you see what's happened. Sebastian's a bit of an idiot. He's just like fallen straight for that. I actually really want to know how it's worded before I eat that cake. So she's like, let's get married. What do you say? Sebastian's like, I'll follow this good man and go with you. And having sworn truth, ever will be true. Olivia's then lead the way, good father, and heaven so shine that they be fairly note this act of mine. That's about it. Right, we're eating the cake. We're going into Act 5. Act 5 is just one scene, so we're nearly there. It's time for Act 5. This act only has one scene. It's really long. The act starts with Fester with Malvolio's letter. And Fabian is like, Fester, let me see that letter. And he's like, Master Fabian, I will ask you one more thing. And he's like, yeah, go on, what is it? Don't ask to see the letter. How would you do that with one character? Anyway, the Duke and Cesario turn up. The Duke's decided to come in person to see Olivia this time because he's sick of the back and forth and he's just like, sod it, I'll go on my own. They see Fester and they're like, oh, go and get Olivia, here's some money. And Fester's like, 1 cent could use a friend. And then like haggles some more money off of him. But he goes and gets Olivia. Then, who's walking past but some guards carrying Antonio in chains? I don't know why, but the Duke is like, I know that guy, he's a pirate. And he's like, I'm not a pirate, and also I saved that guy's life. And Cesario's like, I don't remember you saving my life. It feels very much like we've been over this, but that's how the play goes. Then Olivia comes out, and she starts talking to Cesario rather than to the Duke. And the Duke's like, what the hell, you like this guy? And she's like him, I married him. And then, just as the Duke's about to be like, what, I'll kill you, you married her? In run Sir Toby and Sir Andrew, and they're covered in blood, and they're like, we've been attacked! Cesario, he's turned insane! And they're like, what? Cesario? He's standing right there. And then in comes Sebastian chasing after them, like, I'll get you again, you fucking... And then he's like, oh, shit, sorry, Olivia, I was chasing these guys, I didn't know that they were related to you, sorry. And then she's like, what? So, you got Cesario, you got Sebastian, everyone's like, we're seeing double here. 4 Cesarios. Okay, so at this point, they come clean. They look at each other, Sebastian and Cesario, and they're like, oh my god, I thought you were dead. Well, hang on, who are you? Am I seeing myself, says Sebastian, 'cause he's an idiot. And Cesario is like, no, I'm Viola, your long-lost sister. I just happen to be dressed as a man. He's like, oh. And the Duke is like, oh, okay. And you've married this one, Sebastian. Well, if that's the case, I'll marry Viola. You've said so many times that you loved me. Just a shame I'm a man. But now you're a woman. I guess it's not a shame. Brilliant. In comes Festa. I mean, it literally is that simple. But, you know, true love, I guess. Not really. With the Duke and Cesario and Viola, more so, they do actually really like each other. With Olivia and Sebastian, literally just met. Bit weird, but they like each other. In comes Festa, and he's like, as we're wrapping things up, here's Malvolio's letter. Hands it to Olivia, and she's like, oh God, why? You've locked him in a cage, and what? She's like, go and get him, you dick. Why? And he's like, okay, I'll go get him. Malvolio comes in, and he's like, Madam, I've been much abused. Here's the letter that you wrote me. It says that you love me, and it says some have greatness thrust upon them, and it's got all the bit about Malvolio. And she's like, I never wrote this. And she's like, what? Fabian, he steps up and he's like, yeah, fair enough. Malvolio, Olivia didn't write that. Maria wrote that. And because, like, the Jape went so well, so Toby's married Maria. That's just thrown away in there. So, you know, it's all worked out. And Malvolio's like, it hasn't worked out. I've been locked in a cage and you made me like a twat. I'll be revenged on the whole pack of you. He storms off. Olivia is like, he has been much abused. But anyway, let's have a party. We're all married now. Off they go. Everyone's happy. Except for Sir Andrew, not happy, been beaten up. Fabian, fine, I guess, but he's going to have revenge taken on him by Malvolio. So is Toby and Maria. And who else is in this play? Festa! Festa is left alone on the stage and he sings a sad song, and his song is about how it rains all the time and he's sad. That's the play. Now I've done it. Now you've heard the story of Twelfth Night. It's probably best to now watch a version of it. Just let it wash over you, but you know the story and it will, like, it should make perfect sense to you, and just enjoy the language, enjoy like the comedy. There is comedy in there, like, even though it's olden times, and just like vibe it. And then that's you now. You know, another Shakespeare play. That's kind of why I was doing this. If you're already new Twelfth Night, God knows what you got out of it. It's just a man explaining the plot to a thing, you know. But that was reading Nook. Next time, I'm going to do an actual book. That's a play. Don't ever read this. Never read it. With Shakespeare, I've just watched all the plays over and over. And that's the best way to do it. And really, once you know a play, the fun of watching Shakespeare is seeing what the differences are, seeing how someone plays a role, having your favourite version of who played Malvolio, having your favourite kind of like staging of something, seeing what's like an interesting way that it's played. With this one, they often try and play up the Sir Toby and Andrew in the raucous party element of it, and the Duke and Olivia stuff is backgrounded. There's a way to do it where you treat each part of the play on an equal pegging, because the emotions really are with Duke, Viola and Olivia, less so Sebastian, he's just there. But I guess Sebastian and Antonio, there's a bit of emotions there. And then you've got the sort of bullying of Malvolio. Like, does he really deserve everything he goes through? Doesn't feel like it. Like, he's a dick, but like they really push him too far. And that's why the whole Fabian thing feels like his influence, him bullying Sir Andrew and him pushing the Malvolio thing further than it needed to be, like, and he's like he eggs Sir Toby on, and like that feels like why Fabian's in the play. So next time we'll do a book, and I think probably with the reading Nook I'll do, like, I quite enjoy Shakespeare, and doing this was fun, so like I'll do every other one a Shakespeare play. We'll keep coming back to Shakespeare, but we'll do some classic literature in between. So with the book one, it's going to be a short book, and we'll treat the book ones like a book club, and the Shakespeare ones more like a praisey to watching the plays. But, you know, every other one will do a Shakespeare one. And then you should know like a load about Shakespeare and a load about classic literature. That's fun, isn't it? All right. That's me. Bye. See you back in, mark my words, Series 2 coming soon. Back talking about rap music. But these go in between.